Looks like our game is gonna be just about ready to start now. We're gonna be moving to board lane with China up against Delhi. That's gonna be coming up right now. You're getting the cats and the pets on the cam. Okay, never mind. Nacho's not getting any time on the screen. We're moving on in to our game number one. DeMu versus kiljardi. Delhi versus Chinese.
Yeah, and this has been a matchup we've been seeing for quite some time now. Delhi is obviously that civ that you kind of get to, you force your opponent not to always be able to play their own game, because if they allow you to have those sacred sites, if they allow you that control, then all of a sudden there's too much things out there to deal with, and we know how many times people have complained about Delhi.
Yeah, I like to complain about Delhi as well, but I'll try to keep it to myself for as long as possible here. We'll see. Some things might change as the game goes on, and I'll get a little bit unhinged depending on the game state. But we'll see. I mean, China is a pretty good civ as well, so kiljardi definitely. Sometimes he likes to call out civ wins or something like that. I don't think he can do it in this matchup.
No, I don't think by any means. I feel like they both do have the nice part of being able to kind of react with the efficient production, react with supervision in a way that, you can always pump some extra military units and make a transition into different military units very, very quick. But I think that, either if you're Chinese or you're Delhi, I think you're fine on either side of this matchup.
Yeah, historically, it used to be, before the Gazi Raider got introduced, that China had a pretty good win record up against the Delhi Sultanate. But ever since they brought in the Gazi Raiders, things have been changed, or rather flipped on its head. Because now you can't, the Gazi Raider is a unit that sees a man-at-arms or a palace guard and just smiles. Because they know that they've won the game at that point in time. The Palace Guard used to be like a very, very solid unit that you can make up against the Delhi Sultanate because they were faster, you could surround elephants, you could kill elephants with just mass Palace Guards. Can't do that anymore. Gazi Raiders just destroy them, even when they're in feudal age against castle age.
Yep. Dome of the Faith is being dropped. 5 villagers actually being pulled, so once this feudal age finished as soon as possible. Imperial Academy, obviously we know China and the timings that they can make. Such a quick age up timing. We'll see a couple of those Imperial officials immediately queued up and popping out here soon too.
Gonna be some good economic scaling that way. It's gonna be coming in here for sure. Imperial officials, just such a good way to increase your economy early on. Also means that your sheep are just gonna be providing you with a lot more food.
Exactly.
240 instead of just 200 food with the supervision.
Looks like one single sheep left out onto the map after these scouting patterns. Basically kind of dead center there in the map. Oh, it disappeared. Maybe it was just a logo. I think kiljardi actually is picking it up now. Oh, he is. Yep, very last one. And so we'll be able to, just like you said, with the supervision under that mill, those sheep are going to last just a little bit longer, even though DeMu not even worrying about going over to his yet, really.
Yeah, berry's just a way better food gather source there early on. Out survival techniques believe even faster than the deer. So it's going to be a happy camper on those for the time being.
But wheelbarrow about to finish there for DeMu, and finally we are seeing that stables. We are about to see those Gazi Raiders starting to move out on the map like you had mentioned earlier.
Gazi Raiders will be the main early part here. We also see the stables coming in from kiljardi. Wonder if that's just gonna be for the horsemen. You can't. The issue is, like, with the early attempt to deny the sacred sites from Delhi, it's just really difficult. Like, you can't realistically do it with horsemen, because the Gazi Raiders, they're just gonna get counter-healed. Like, they got the same movement speed. Horsemen are gonna struggle to take any decisive trades. You need to actually kill a unit, because if you don't kill a unit, it's just gonna get pulled back, healed back up again, and you'll just lose health slowly over time.
Yeah, definitely a feels bad for sure, but kiljardi still opting for the horseman, so maybe just, you know, gonna try to circle, try to do some eco damage, something of the sort, but horseman play's been scouted out. DeMu scout sees those 3 first horsemen that came out so quickly due to that supervision, but it's not just horsemen, it's going to be some spears to follow as well.
Spearman definitely the right call to make here. There's only 2 sacred sites on this map, and they're relatively close to each other. So chances are, if you have control over one sacred site, you'll also have control over the other.
Yeah, a lot easier to kind of just bounce back and forth between those two. Whether you're on the offensive part or on the defensive spot, just a lot easier focus, a lot easier rally point than some of the map gens that you'll see in different maps where it'll be far, far spread throughout.
Top sacred site has the deer relatively close to kiljardi, so maybe there is a chance that he could just drop a barbican next to the sacred site and take control over it that way. Hopefully come into play here. Enough spearmen now to push these Gazi back.
Yeah, and while gold gathering may be denied, it's not like actual gold income is being denied, as we know how taxing that Chinese economy can be.
Yeah, quite literally taxing there. Now we hit the point where Sanctity is about to finish up here for DeMu, so he is sending those scholars out. So putting in some spearmen on the field as well. Same time, Horseman looking for a raid, could be finding at least 1 villager kill there early on. Jolly with a good raid.
Definitely a solid pickup for those horsemen, and it does force DeMu into some spears of his own. Gazi's almost able to pick up a single spearman. And Sacred Site now starting to be captured. Both of the Sacred Sites now starting to be captured. However, spears are into the center, and there is no counter unit yet for DeMu. No archers in play. DeMu is just going for the sheer numbers. So 2 scholars starting to dip a little bit low. It's not a barbican either. It looks like an outpost onto that deer.
Jolly gonna try and secure himself over here on the southpost. Oh, it looks like he sent 1 villager too many out there. One could get taken down. I'm getting pulled over there as well. And that's another scholar down. kiljardi looking very, very strong in this game.
Yeah, really, really good start for kiljardi here. Has not allowed Delhi to play their game yet. Has picked up a villager, has denied these sacred sites, has been able to re-secure a mid spot, which is that outpost that he just finished up on that deer is going to just provide so much value in protecting his deer and the sacred site. Fight being taken though. Gazi get braced on, but still staying alive. 4 scholars here to try to heal him up as well.
Khan still looking very solid for kiljardi. Now archers being mixed in as well, so he will have the full Trico army composition. Still not a single sacred site picked up by DeMu yet.
Food looks like it's starting to run lower next to that initial mill, so kiljardi will need to move out to another resource, and it's going to be the boar all the way in the northern side of the map.
Not just the boar, deer over there as well. He's sending a lot of villagers out there, so gonna be some time for them to arrive. Does have wheelbarrow for it though, so it makes the trip a little bit quicker. Now there's a ton of scholars out here in the mid game as well, in the mid map. Healing coming in, and there's no clear counter to the spearmen yet. There's not that many archers, so kiljardi actually losing a ton of his own spears. This is gonna give DeMu the control that he needed now in order to take those sacred sites.
Yeah, not the greatest fight there for kiljardi. Just taken a little bit early. Not enough archers there to provide a difference. Spears slowly getting picked off on the run out as well. But has this delay at least given him enough of a foothold to continue this path forward as China? Scholar still healing up just so well there.
Yeah, the healing just being absolutely massive. But he's still making units, but now DeMu going for that outpost. Counter healing coming in as well. Only 2 archers yet. Yeah, kiljardi needs to evacuate this position. He does, of course, still have the wheelbarrow in on the villagers, so could just run away from the spearmen. He's going to decide to stick it out, though. Repairs coming in on the outpost. Fight is being taken, but it's not looking too hot for kiljardi behind us. Actually snipes down one of the scholars, though, with the outpost. More archers coming in. But the spearman numbers not looking too good. The Gazi Raiders could now move on to the archers. Couple more spearman reinforcement coming in.
Outpost trying to focus down the scholars yet again. A little bit of a repair attempt again as well. And while kiljardi did lose the fight, he does at least keep the outpost there for the time being. A lot of these units low health, but the scholars, look at the value they're providing.
Just continuous healing. kiljardi, though, remassing the army behind this. Look to be enough, though. Villager's going to pop out again. Enough for repair, and the Gazi Raiders picking them off one by one. Spearman not in position. Yeah, he's losing all of the villagers. Suddenly game not looking too good for kiljardi anymore. DeMu just now gotten control over the second sacred site as well. About to be.
Yeah, and this is the point where Delhi is just in full control. Double sacred sites, able to keep that military mass even bigger. And if not only, you know, does he have the military numbers, he's got 11 scholars. So once that castle age decision happens, those upgrades in castle are going to just come in the blink of an eye and all so free.
Yeah, free upgrades, definitely a good thing. And DeMu now also adding in some scouts, because guess what? Speaking of free upgrades, professional scouts in for the Delhi as well. DeMu is going to be able to start picking those up, and looks like behind us, he's not planning on sticking to feudal age for much longer. Banking up those resources for an age up.
Yeah, and this is really when kiljardi's going to find himself in a bigger predicament than he's already in. Is once Delhi hits castle, you just feel like that chokehold gets so much tighter. You're like, okay, well now in the next 2 minutes, he's going to have so many upgrades, so much value for free, and you just can't equalize that same amount of technology that Delhi will be able to get.
Here's Armor now also coming in. Yeah, the age up just around the corner.
Yeah, and I feel like usually when Delhi goes for this age up in castle, they have to re-give up the sacred site control. But this is one with the fights that DeMu took earlier, he might not have to give up any sacred site control.
Yeah, nothing at all, and he still has the scholars in the mid-map with his army. Look at that, single spearman gonna be able to beat off those horsemen now. I think he's got textiles as well in the villages at this point. Maybe? Yeah, he does have it. So villager is actually not going to go down here at all.
Good body blocking and good job by DeMu sending a few more reinforcements that way. kiljardi trying to take the fight in the center. Has a big archer mass, sniping down some of those scholars, some of those spears on the backside. Scholars not very valuable if your units are getting one shot now. The spear mass, though, for kiljardi needs to stay alive, needs to be able to push away those Gazi Raiders.
DeMu forfeiting his entire military mass here in the mid-map, also losing a couple of the scholars. kiljardi on no food in the bank at all. He's fully committed now to the age up. Not to the age up, to the fight. And DeMu, it looks like he's reinvesting, so he's getting further and further away from his age up now. He's got over 1,000 gold in the bank. Might need to actually drop a market, get some additional units in, or to really commit to the age up now.
Yeah, without those Gazi Raiders, without those spears in queue, he would be able to be aging up now, but can you age up after just losing your whole military? And he had so many reinforcements at home because of those few little bits of horsemen raiding that kiljardi was doing, so just shows you what value a few horsemen can actually provide, and we're seeing it here again. Villagers not being pulled back by DeMu, a few more villagers going to be going down on that front side from the archer mass, and not only villagers, a scholar or two as well.
Now kiljardi just trying to go for the baboon mode, trying to run into the base. Couple horseman raids coming in yet again. There's a single Gazi raider on the back there, also being on the defense. No additional villagers going down there, thanks to textiles. But villagers on the berries are going to get pulled.
That's
Does
so
that
many
wheelbarrow?
villagers. Oh my god.
Wheelbarrow really being a lifesaver here. As it doesn't look like too many of them are gonna go down. They sleep for a second.
The Gazi Raiders do look like they get to close the gap. DeMu had to fully reinvest into Feudal Age. He has 200 food in the bank when he was 200 away. But now should be able to clear up this Archer Mass kiljardi. He's just knows that. He's going to throw the rest away, maybe to just take down some of these villagers.
Doesn't get too many of the village snipes out. Some of the spearmen there, but now no longer has enough archers to one-shot. He's going to lose the entire Archer Mass now. In the mid-game. Has still like a lot of resource in the bank. Could remass all of those archers in theory. Yeah, looking at that army value lead, DeMu just reinvesting on the flip of a coin. Like, that was so quick how he reinvested into the military.
DeMu also had, what was that, 30 villagers on the berries over there? Like, desperate times calls for desperate measures, I guess. 32 villagers on the berries.
At least they're gathering.
I mean, the food eco is going to look great for a second, and then he's going to have to move again with 32 villagers, and that'll give kiljardi a little bit of time to maybe equalize the numbers again. But DeMu, yet again, he wants to go for Castle Age, and kiljardi, he's got enough wood to make a granary transition if he wants almost.
Just the only thing that he's needing for the granary transition would be the Song Dynasty at this point. Sacred Sites have been denied, but are getting taken back now. And DeMu just about ready to go for the age up. Probably has a market, so could just sell a little bit of food, a little bit of wood. The age up would be coming in right then. And there's 17 scholars now for him on his side. Those upgrades are gonna fly in by the time he hits the age up.
Yeah, and it's just more of that Gazi focus from DeMu. It seems like kiljardi just needs a few more spears on each of these fights. Instead, though, doubling, tripling down into the Archer Mass. DeMu, though, those villagers on the berries need to be worried, as it does look like there might be a Horseman Mass circling again. And so many of those are low health. Good reaction, though, by DeMu. Able to very, very quickly not lose many, if any, of those villagers. A couple of them are lower health. They run to the Gazi Raider reinforcements.
Now the age up has been revealed. kiljardi needs to go for some sort of commitment. DeMu now going into the Men-at-Arms. The immediate go-to armored unit in the Castle Age, doesn't require any upgrades. Gazi's also being upgraded behind this.
Gets thwarted, and another scout falls, and another scout falls. Just was using those to gather up some of those deer anyways. Horseman again, though, onto those berries. Does pick up a villager, and there's spears here as well.
Archers now as well.
And archers. DeMu needs to react to this further.
Gonna pull them again. Wheelbarrow just so clutch now, coming in.
Doing wonders over there for him. Does cut back in front of some of the archer pathing, though.
Getting taken down. Could have probably taken down a good couple more. There's a lot of yellow dots making their way over behind all of this. Another rally getting picked up. Enough spearmen to take down the Men-at-Arms. Wololo not going to be successful here, so Scholar's getting sniped up before being able to bring that relic back in. kiljardi just having this very, very large army mass now in front of DeMu's base, as the deer are also about to run out from underneath his TC.
He still has 1,200 wood in the bank as well, so needs to utilize that for something. I think he's dropping some farms on the backside again. Looks like fights being taken.
He's
so many
getting a lot of the upgrades as well.
Mix, though.
Yeah. DeMu was at 17 scholars, now down to 11, so kiljardi sniped down a lot of them. Fights being taken, but it's not a good one, I want to say, for DeMu. Not one that's good enough at the very least.
There's just so many archers. The Men-at-Arms, while they're tanky, they don't do a ton of damage. So if the spears are able to connect onto those Gazi, able to keep those archers alive. And as I say, that kiljardi moves the spears back to cut off the Gazi mass that was going for the flank. But As this fight goes longer and longer, the armored units just show their value here.
kiljardi going for his own age up now behind this, finding the timing behind all of this to get enough food in for that. It cut production though, so doesn't have any spearman reinforcements or anything like this coming in to help his units now. But with the supervision, should be able to at least get the archer upgrade in a reasonable amount of time. Can also kite and kill some of those knights, some of those Gazi raiders on the backline as well. Good book. Oh my god, one horseman pulling back the entire army from DeMu. Buying kiljardi critical seconds there. Yeah, just a couple of these farm spots. Now mass knights. Archer upgrade coming in as well. kiljardi's still in this game.
Yeah, DeMu having to drop farms of his own now. All the upgrades slowly coming through though for DeMu, so is going to gain that effectiveness, but did lose quite a bit of scholars earlier on.
He's yoinking the relic right next to kiljardi when he just made the monastery at the top side. Oh my god. And now he's sending some Gazi over there as well. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate for kiljardi in that situation.
Yeah, it's a big part of the food eco. kiljardi going with crossbows and some lancers, still a few spears as well. What a crazy back and forth game here so far, as it did feel like it was all in DeMu's control, but overstepped, threw away his army, and now kiljardi has been making this comeback here.
Sure, is also being able to do a good amount of damage now. kiljardi already, or rather DeMu already has +2 pierce armor in at this point. Only with 5 scholars garrison at the moment though. The upgrades aren't coming in. Eco efficiency is the one big point here at the moment for DeMu that just hasn't been looking too hot. kiljardi doing a great job there, but yeah, a little bit of DC idle time on both sides. It's just been a very hectic game so far between the two.
Hectic game to say the least, but kiljardi does look like he is in a solid positioning point as the Chinese here at this point. Starting to move across with this mass.
Yeah, kiljardi with the crossbow mix in there as well. He's looking very, very good right now when it comes to the army. Now also reinvesting back into spearmen, a very solid army composition. Just the mass of men-at-arms here is not going to be good enough for DeMu.
No, it's just, it's not too valuable. And oh my gosh, more villagers falling. We talked about some wheelbarrow earlier on, but this time just not quite as quick there on the step there for the villagers. Crossbows though are here to help deter this frontline mass. Just, it doesn't look like the whole crossbow mass is there.
Not all of them, but enough to two-shot the knights at the very least. Spearman providing a very good front line here. Wololo in the back, but is going to get sniped down.
Immediately sniped out, so another scholar goes down. A few more of the crossbows that arrived now going to be helping with this kiting maneuver, and it looks like the reinforcing knights might as well, but kiljardi's range mass is slowly starting to get thinned out just a bit here.
Just a bit. DeMu mostly just on infantry now, though, at this point in time. We haven't seen any keeps coming up from him. Now he sees that kiljardi has a pretty big army mass coming up behind this. Now switches back into archers and Gazi raiders as well. That's a very resource-intensive army composition where you need a lot of units. And the question is, does DeMu have enough time? Does DeMu have enough income for this? He's adding in more farm blobs as well behind this, more farm clusters. kiljardi already has a couple of them in.
Oof. Yeah, that farm transition has come through for DeMu now. He's getting on to different wood lines, though, and those wood lines are getting thinner and thinner. Remember, this is bald lands. We'll need to eventually make that move into those central tree lines, which gets so dangerous. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay,
Scholar stays safe for the time being there. Scholar also acts as a little bit of a mobile outpost. They have a lot of range. We now see the Barbican securing one of the sacred sites, going to be coming in for kiljardi. Knight's getting deterred on one side, but there's still the other three going all the way around the edge of the map. Meanwhile, the main army...
Right as walls tried to go down.
Does DeMu see this? Yeah, DeMu does see this. Spotted out. It's getting pulled ahead of time. It's a dicey situation at the moment.
Kiljardi does secure both sacred sites now, so he has now started that timer against the Civ that loves being the one to start the timer, the Delhi Sultanate. So Kiljardi is the one taking the map control, is in that positioning, so he's able to move out to some of those other resources like the berries, like, you know, maybe getting back onto the deer next to the sacred site like he's on again.
Elephant, that's the first elephant here of the game. Probably not gonna be the last one. 12 scorers at the moment, Garrison. We still don't have any keeps in yet from DeMu. This does not look like a fight that DeMu wants to take. He's still pushing into it though. There's a lot of crossbows out there. Elephant immediately loses a third of his health. 2/3 and now gets taken down.
Just gets sniped out so quickly, and the crossbow mass that DeMu has seems great until you see the crossbow and archer mass that Kiljardi has. So just backline damage, so much healthier for Kiljardi. DeMu oversteps a little bit, loses that front line, and now is having to tuck tail and turn on home.
Yeah, this is the point where the Gazi Raiders need to be remessed into. Vultures in the gold also gonna need to evacuate here. DeMu is gonna take the fight here. Notices that it's one that he can't really easily take. Granted, he does have the upgrade from the House of Wisdom, where he does have or House of Knowledge.
Houses.
Garrison houses and also more attack range on the crossbows.
Yeah, those houses
gonna be able
Garrison
to
are actually helping out pretty significantly against the infantry mass that Kiljardi has, and you can see those archers, you can see those crossbows getting taken down quickly, and the Gazis remassing, they're tanky, they're that front line that he needs.
And the defensive capabilities of Delhi sometimes, well, not just sometimes, they never cease to amaze. Additional range on the crossbows, the housing infrastructure. Kiljardi is going to have to fall back for a little bit. It's going into Jugunu now.
Yeah, and it looks like a horseman transition for Kiljardi as well, just because of that ranged mass that DeMu has. Kiljardi looks like he's expanding for the bottom side boar and deer as well, walling that side off, and then might be able to take the boar behind it. But has, with all these eco kills, he has found himself now at a 21 eco lead.
Yeah, very solid eco lead at this point. Has control over 2 sacred sites, one also supported by a Barbican. And the Jugunu mass is going to build up quite quickly, behind which he has a very, very impressive resource bank as well. 16 horsemen, so Kiljardi also in a great position to just start with some of these raids, mobility raids on the sides. Still don't have a keep up yet for DeMu, so his base is going to be pretty awkward to defend. He gets a lot of the upgrades in for free, yes, but doesn't feel like it's enough at the moment now that all the resources, researchers have finished up and all the upgrades are in.
Kiljardi wasn't queuing stuff up for a good little bit, so I thought I was like, is he about to go imp? And then all of a sudden 5 horsemen, 4 crossbows in queue, so real quickly turns that around, but still so many resources in the bank for him. He could go imp at the blink of an eye. Doubling, tripling down though, 9 horsemen in queue. He might need some more stables or might need some more supervision.
Raiders pulling Kiljardi's army to the back. Village is going to evacuate here. No village hopping. DeMu buying himself some time, but Kiljardi's income still just looking very, very solid. Over 2,000 food per minute currently.
Military numbers have equalized over here, and DeMu, Kiljardi attempting a little quick wall these Gazi Raiders in, try to get them cut on off, and actually get a lot of them cleaned up, and sure enough, makes them run into his ranged mass, and all of a sudden, those Gazi Raiders get obliterated.
Obliterated, but there's still 24 of them out on the field, chasing after some horsemen inside of his own base. DeMu, 40 villagers on food, a lot of gold banked up. Could he be looking for an Imperial Age follow-up now? That is another big scaling point for the Delhi Sultanate, where they once again unlock a ton of upgrades that they can unlock for free.
Yeah, DeMu is at that point where all of his technologies for Castle Age have finished, so it's kind of like, well, what bonuses is the Civ given now? It's like, well, he wants those next research technologies to start ticking on in for free. Kiljardi, though, he's up to 100 military. Palace of the Sultan is on the way for DeMu now, though. Has a massive army knocking on the doorstep and actually has to cancel Palace of the Sultan because it was being built right while Kiljardi was moving into.
Goes for it now on the side. No, actually, he just remasses military. He cancelled completely, instead reinvests into the military. Knows that he needs military mass now.
Rams still waiting to be finished. Now Kiljardi can turn. Now Kiljardi can take this fight with the range mass not building rams.
And both the archers and the crossbows do have the additional range upgrade on them. Wololos coming in, defensive Wololos. Some units need to fall back from the front line. Successful Wololos there. Still buying some time. Kiljardi's army, though, is able to push forward.
Yeah,
he was losing that ground.
Has been pulled, but there's so many scholars and they're just healing, not fighting. And while that is great in smaller numbers, in these large numbers when things are getting one shot, the scholars now just prove to be cannon fodder. They are now the front line. They're now trying to be the tanky unit. And Kiljardi has taken this fight at a perfect timing.
It's going to be incredibly awkward now from this one going forward. Even if DeMu holds this, he just lost a lot of scholars. So if he goes for an age up now, he won't have that upgrade speed that he really needs in order to stabilize after the age up. 17 to 95 economy. Kiljardi's looking in a very good position.
Yep, both of these players, I mean, it has been a crazy, another just back and forth game where it feels like either of these players could have taken the game at any point in time during this, but Kiljardi now, the one in just a little bit more control. He does have that legal map hack landmark, which is probably how he figured out that there was a little bit of some wood expansion over here. Lancers closing the gap. DeMu, a little bit of a late reaction and losing even more villagers.
Now see elephants coming in from DeMu, 2 more queued up. I don't know how DeMu does it every time, but like his economy still isn't looking too bad at all. He's got 5 relics. Still has a decent unit mass to defend with at the very least. And he is continuously holding on, continuously producing units.
Yeah, somehow even being down 32 villagers has been able to just keep himself equalized in this game. There's been so much damage go on, but Kiljardi is going for the throat yet again. Elephant moving forward, scholars getting pulled again. Lancers have made that wraparound, have made that circle with the Gazi here now, and a second elephant on the front side.
Third elephant coming in. Going all the way to the backside there. Kiljardi has his ranged units. There's still a good couple of crossbows in, but the elephant's able to do a lot of damage before he goes down. Even gets pulled back now, can get healed up again. DeMu stabilizing, now Kiljardi lacking the army to continue his push forward.
Kiljardi decided to split off a few units and take a few more villager picks during that time, and it allowed the mass from DeMu to win the fight there in the center. And those 3 elephants and with some scholars now are getting pretty scary. Kiljardi needs to remass and remass quick.
I think I might have missed my opportunity to complain about Delhi, but yeah, DeMu looking to be in a very, very solid position now behind this as he continues pushing on further and further into kiljardi's base. kiljardi's just not producing anything. I think he's just kind of stun-locked at how his push so far hasn't been working out, how he still hasn't won this game yet.
Yeah, and as you say that, he queues up about 15 units really, really quick. He needs to be able to do something to equalize his numbers, and he needs to do it fast. A keep drop, is that a rushed keep?
It's getting rushed up by 8 villagers.
That's not that rushed.
That's a leisure keep. Yeah, it's not going to be in time if DeMu moves forward in time. Actually, it looks like DeMu's respecting the keep getting put up there. He's going to fall back. And just going for his own Imperial Age as he finds the villagers on the gold vein. kiljardi, no reaction. Now reacts villagers getting trapped though.
They don't have many places to run. Great job on, I wouldn't say equalizing the eco difference, but great job in starting to make a ways back as far as his economy goes and equalizing there.
And now Imperial Age going to be on the menu. House of the Sultan should be coming in soon now for DeMu, and there it is. He's got 13 scholars and 5 more in queue. These upgrades are going to be coming in at a pretty decent pace for DeMu. kiljardi is still 26 villagers ahead, but kind of doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't feel like it by any means. Yeah, I would say this game still feels dead even. I mean, DeMu has constantly been able to keep up with this queue that kiljardi has been doing. kiljardi, I think, knows that Imperial Age is not far behind for his opponent, so needs to equalize it himself and is starting to bank up his own resources.
So kiljardi could also be going for the age up. There is a point to be made for Imperial Age Palace Guards for China with the plus 30 HP upgrade, where the Palace Guards actually do become very, very strong, and with Yuan Dynasty with the bonus movement speed, just an impressively strong raiding unit. We do see the Great Wall Gatehouse, the unnamed landmark coming in now for kiljardi. Gonna be able to protect those farms. Meanwhile, DeMu, look at that upgrade queue, just skyrocketing, as every queuable upgrade's getting clicked now for him. Scholars,
now you just
13
give
now
it a
been
few
garrisoned.
minutes. Ooh, decent raid though coming in onto the food villagers there from DeMu. So kiljardi just able to at least pick up a little bit, and it doesn't seem like DeMu fully reacted and responded to that.
He pulled the villagers that were getting attacked. DeMu likes to do this where he keeps the remaining workers working. It's just very efficient, just means that idle time being absolutely minimized, and maybe the potential cost of 1 or 2 additional villagers. At this point, just having the uptime on the village is probably more important. Speaking of uptime, look at DeMu's food bank after this. He just aged up and already has enough resource to age up again.
I mean, he is just
that
ready
Imperial
to go.
official. He's still supervising the mining camp. There's nothing to mine from.
That's one of those you see and you're like, maybe I shouldn't kill him. Just let him keep working over there. Another moss getting dropped. The good old extra Imperial Age upgrades about to get queued up as well there for DeMu. Looks like walls are being built, but it doesn't look like they're being built fast enough unless those Gazi get distracted by the gold villagers. And sure enough, gold villagers trying to get pulled away, trying to build a gate very, very quick. There is some military headed this way, so shouldn't have too many losses, maybe 1-2 vills here.
Yeah, main count staying up. Horsemen have been upgraded to elite. Still have a pretty good crossbow mass for kiljardi. The first Sultan's Tower Elephant is in now. All the elite upgrades, or the most important elite upgrades, are getting researched now as well. Gazi Raiders already elited up behind this. University upgrades coming in behind this. Looks like DeMu's gotten up to 3 universities as well. So it's getting 3 university upgrades in at a time.
That is crazy considering the technologies are all free. Gazis are able to hit that wood line, are able to hit some of the granary eco, but
big
the
raid.
horsemen, they find the gold, and those villagers are not going to be escaping with their life.
Good pick up there by kiljardi. It's a lot more important, or a lot more impactful, when you take 10 villagers from a person with 60 than if you kill 10 villagers from a person with 90 villagers. So kiljardi still having a very, very solid eco lead at this point. Able to preserve it as well, but DeMu just continuing with the Gazi raids makes it very difficult for kiljardi to move out of his own base with his units.
That villager that was walling just, you know, just minding his own business. Gazi ran right on by.
They respected that. They respected the hustle.
And this Gazi mass is getting collapsed from two different sides. Yes, might pick up another couple villagers, but just as you said, for kiljardi at this point, I think he's kind of fine with some of these trades. Couple more Gazi picked up and cleared on the back side. Oh, jinxed it.
Ooh. Moving back to the Great Wall Gatehouse, though, should be able to support there. DeMu, I kind of feel like I know where this is going now. It's just slowly massing up that big ball of elephants that he's got. We're at 3 war elephants, 3 Sultan's Tower elephants, about to be 4. Good amount of crossbows, good amount of hand cannoneers, everything eliteed up. It's just becoming this big death ball that kiljardi, unfortunately, probably not going to stand a chance unless he's going into like 40 to 50 hand cannoneers with mass spears or horsemen.
Well, and the hard part too is when you're facing that Delhi death ball, when you've killed that many villagers, you're like, woo, I've killed, you know, a ton of villagers. It's like, well, that death ball just gets bigger and bigger as you kill villagers. So that military mass is up at 120 for DeMu.
Ancient technology is being upgraded now for kiljardi, so he's going to be getting some additional eco there. Should be an additional, I think that nerfed to 4%, so should be plus 8% gather speed. Oh, 5%, never mind, it is still 5%. On the tooltip.
a big little star
asterisk
next to it. Yeah. All right, elephants moving forward. DeMu's 115 military mass is ready to do something, and kiljardi says, all right, I might just circle, kill some reinforcements, might run on away.
Return rate coming in from kiljardi behind this now. The big issue here is now that crossbows for kiljardi, they can take down the war elephant, but they can't take down the tower elephant, as the tower elephant are, interestingly enough, not a heavy unit. They're not armored. And they have like 14 ranged armor.
Horsemen getting more villager kills in that economy. Kiljardi's lost plenty of villagers as well, but it just feels like DeMu's death ball is getting bigger and bigger and scarier, and there's no answer in sight right now.
Yeah, kiljardi is far away from getting enough gold in or a big ball of hand cannoneers. It just doesn't really feel like there's a real way at the moment for kiljardi to fight off that death ball. Finds a couple more villager kills, but yeah, it's as he said, like the more villager he kills, the bigger the death ball gets. At the end of the day, like, DeMu still has a very impressive resource bank behind this Barbican with the cannon placement. And the crossbows and archers are actually attacking buildings behind this. Not focusing any of the units, only now that they're stepping up. Units are getting focused now.
Yeah, Bombard
wall
did a
elephants
great
go down.
job of adding some extra damage in against those elephants as well, and kiljardi still just continuing to raid with horsemen on the backside. So Deathball did get thinned out a little bit, and eco still for DeMu is hurting. Not saying, you know, kiljardi's eco is doing anything too crazy healthy, but he is still just continually making damage in this economy. Ooh, Does look like Village Fortress is about to get finished on that keep on that sacred site in just a bit. So DeMu will have a way to start producing some more villagers and catch up on that eco.
Still just going for mass horsemen and spearmen at the moment for kiljardi. He's trying to go for these raids, but it's just so difficult currently. DeMu with all 5 relics and tithe bonds as well. Massive passive income there, supporting him as well. Still not seeing... We're seeing a couple of hand cannons, but like kiljardi literally needs like 40 of them in order to stand a chance, I feel like.
Well, he's about a quarter of the way here so far. He's scared to push up any further. He needs to start taking down that keep, needs to start taking down this central map control, and that might be what he's doing here soon, but more Gazis are going to be knocking on his doorstep.
Not working on that keep. Now this big elephant ball. 11 elephants here. Stepping forward. This is such a scary army to face off against. Bombard needs to pull back as well. Second Bombard coming in. Third Bombard in queue. He's gonna need to protect him as well, though. Arbican once again with the cannon placement, doing a good amount of AoE damage as a support here. 5,000 health on it, but when the elephants find a target, it tends to not be long for the world, for this world. But still trying to snipe them out. Healing at the same time. Makes it difficult. Elephant not getting actively healed though. He's trying to find the healers. He's pathing for it. He could not find the herd.
Please.
I need healing. But Mercy was on mute. Now fight's coming in. Horsemen trying to go for the back line, but there's just these couple of war elephants that are in the way. That do bonus damage to the cavalry here. kiljardi pressing forward. But there's so many hand cannon elephants behind us as well. The front line's just melting slowly but surely. To 13 hand cannoneers for kiljardi. It's now 100 to 60 military. Military is falling fast from kiljardi. 35 scholars, to be fair, from DeMu. Not all of them are out at the front line. Last couple of upgrades are coming in. DeMu could soon be pulling all of the scholars to go for the engagement forward. Front lines now have fallen on both sides. Bombard starting to feel a little bit exposed here. kiljardi's only got 100 food in the bank. Barely any food income. What happened there? Might have been some big raids in the back behind all of this, but he doesn't have the income anymore to produce more units, and GG gets called. 50 minutes in game number 1. DeMu able to come back in this one when it almost looked all over in the mid-game.
Another game number 1 where it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We wanted to call it for one side or the other, but we kept not being able to do so. Just neither player were able to close it out until the end there, and DeMu goes up 1-0.
1-0 lead indeed now for DeMu. This, I mean, honestly, expected when up against the Delhi, right? It's just a very strong civilization, at least in my opinion, but losing with China, which is also just this very high value civilization, never really feels good. Next up though, we're going to be moving over to Frisian Marshes with the House of Lancaster for DeMu up against the Order of the Dragon for kiljardi. And Epson, I gotta say, Order of the Dragon recently has really grown on me in a cavalry meta. Mainly cavalry-oriented meta. Who would have thought that having the strongest spearmen in the game actually makes a civilization's entire identity in this case? Like, the Order of the Dragon spearmen currently are just so strong that in many matchups they completely carry a game, and this could be one of them. Up against the Hobbler and spearmen, as well as the Lord of Lancaster spam. In theory, against all these 3 units, you would be totally fine just making only and only gilded spearmen, or even gilded men-at-arms. You could just make those units and you would be able to win the fights there.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I feel like fighting against Order of the Dragon can be very deceiving. You know, you think you have the numbers, you think you have the enough, and all of a sudden you look back and it's just not enough. The spears are, when it's a counter unit straight up against each other, it is absolutely crazy.
Oh man, I love the banter. I love the banter. This is probably kiljardi in DeMu's chat. I see you have gathered some points again after losing them to me. Let's take them away. Top tier farming coming right up. And then, of course, can't believe my luck in Red Bull. Never get this lucky that kiljardi's up against him tomorrow. Oh man, I'm sorry I have to do that to you on your birthday. Right, it's kiljardi's it's not kiljardi, it's DeMu's birthday today.
Oh,
isn't it? Or was it yesterday? And I think it's today. Yeah, it's today.
Happy birthdays in the chat for DeMu, and he was able to at least shut kiljardi up for one game and take a 1-0 lead here, but there's a lot more left in this series.
Oh man, this is gonna be this is great. This is great. I love the banter between these two. Like every time they're in game as well, up against each other. There's so many memes that have been created there. Luckiest man alive, or kiljardi, you're the only one that I know that could lose this matchup. Some absolute classics. Some absolute classics between these two.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's one where, you know, whenever there's a little bit of some back-end banter, it always makes a matchup that much more exciting and that much more just fun to cast, fun to watch and whatnot.
Indeed, and now Vision Marsha's House of Lancaster versus Order of the Dragon. Are we just going to be seeing that classic House of Lancaster all in? There's a little bit of depth here on this map with the potential of water play as well, as you do want to get some fishing economy in. Of course, food eco, always very, very good, very important to have. Or maybe you just commit full on land, you get a mana up, you get your economy that way, and then you just try and burn down your opponent's stocks, and then later on just run into the base. We'll see, we'll see. The thing with the Order of the Dragon is that their units, the gilded units, you have to respect them. You have to respect them. If there's a unit, you have to make the appropriate counter. You cannot just try and make your own spearmen against gilded spearmen, or your own knights against gilded knights. You gotta go for the counters, because gilded units, man, they absolutely shred.
And we will see how much shredding they will do in this game number 2. kiljardi playing with the dragon in the color yellow, and DeMu playing House of Lancaster in the color red.
So early on, looks like DeMu also going for wood, so we will be having that double dock opening here from both players. Both players will be getting that food in from those ponds.
Yeah, nothing too surprising here. The question is how many pawns will be taken by either player before going up to feudal?
And also, will one of these players look to be taking the pawns away from their opponent? Because that's also something that we typically see when one player doesn't fully dock every single pond. At one time, the other player could just go and send a villager over to just dock the remaining pawns, and all of that is just bonus economy. We did have a shoreline fish buff at some point where shoreline now have 600 food inside of them instead of 500 among them, which means that, you know, these little ponds, they last a lot longer. It's a good amount of additional food. 300 extra food, that's almost one additional shoreline fish spot there. Or shoreline fish school, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there were always these times where, you know, sometimes it wasn't worth docking, or other times that, you know, oh, we're dropping mills out to take the shoreline. And it's like, with that extra 100 food, it really has made it that impact where it is absolutely worth it. And was that a little proxy build being dropped from DeMu?
Yeah. A proxy barracks in the middle of the map. There are these funny names for, like, these groups of animals, right? Like a school of fish, a gaggle of crows, or a murder of crows. I didn't know, like, up until I was, like, 20, I didn't know that a murder of crows is, like, a group of birds. Like, why is it a murder? And it's only crows, I heard. It's not just birds, it's only crows. Okay, Cow said it's only crows. That's weird.
You know, believing cow is also weird. So you know.
That's true. That's true. That's do it at your own risk.
No, I believe that one though. For some reason, I don't know why it makes sense, but it does make sense to me. But who knows? Maybe other birds aren't quite as scary and annoying as crows are. But first,
Spearman now coming in from DeMu.
Spears, exactly, starting to move on across. It's just that one initial dock that has been taken so far. Here comes the first torch.
First torch getting thrown. Yep. And kiljardi, looks like he's just going to be going for his own age up behind. It's going to take a while for these spearmen to take down this first dock. By the time they do, the fishing ships will already have paid off for themselves. And in theory, kiljardi just needs a single gilded archer to deal with all of these. And getting the Archon Chapel in is probably a higher priority, as soon as you get that in, you'll immediately be getting that additional 15% bonus efficiency on your build. So probably a good idea from kiljardi. Just ignore this, get the Archon Chapel up indeed. You'll get more resources as the time goes on that way anyways.
Yep, DeMu has another spear in queue, so wants to make sure to try to get this dock down as soon as possible. Scout, hello? Just causing some idle time. He did that on purpose. No real worry there. And it looks like barracks is being dropped for kiljardi, so might just want to go ahead and react with a spear of his own or a men-at-arm gilded spear it is. One gilded spear, though, not going to be enough to take down 5-6 spears on the other side, even with a feudal age advantage. It's just the pure numbers game.
Maybe if there's like a single men-at-arms to support as well, because gilded men-at-arms, they're no joke. Absolutely no joke. They're like, I think they got like the same DPS as a knight while having more health as well. Like, I've had games where I've made only gilded men-at-arms against only knights, and the men-at-arms somehow won. That is only in like continued fights, because they actually have incredible attack speed on them. It's getting burned down fast now, though. And these ponds are so tiny that it's hard for the fishing ships to escape. Oh, DeMu ship now, though.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, DeMu has to be very careful now.
And you could see what kiljardi was trying to do, where it was just kind of poke at some of the spears while they're throwing their torches and not have to really take as much return damage. But DeMu doing a great job microing, a great job just splitting off and continuing the damage onto spears on that side. Abbey of the Kings, though, about a minute away from finishing himself.
So we'll be getting access to those Lords of Lancaster. Could also heal up any of these weak spearmen if you wanted to. And is he actually getting the fishing ships torched down? Doesn't look like it quite yet. Is he torching down the... Okay, now DeMu ship has been hit a little bit, but hasn't been torched down yet. Ideally, kiljardi wants to keep these fishing ships alive to just rebuild the dock in a little bit. And there's DeMu already on triple dock. Now the archers are going to be coming in.
Yep, and there is the archer to be able to deter the rest of those spears away, and you can just immediately, right as the archer comes out, you can see the outline of the dock getting rebuilt as well.
Now dock is getting rebuilt behind this. Demo ship didn't really get much use out there, but I mean, there's always the threat, of course, of the demo ship exploding. So DeMu did not want to send all of his spears to torch down these fishing ships.
Yeah, he never really had more than 2 over there on that pond trying to burn down the fishing ships or throw some extra torches at the demo. And now the rest of those spears should get cleaned up now at this point. Gonna try to run on home with the remaining health that they have. There is the
Slaughter
first
Lancaster gets
Lord
scouted
of
out.
Lancaster.
Look at what DeMu is doing behind this. He's saving up so much food, but he's got 16 on wood still. So I think this is probably not going to be a fast castle play. I think he's just waiting to get production buildings in, because why else would you have 20 villagers on wood? If it was for a fast castle age, he would pull more over to gold and to food. So yeah, this is going to be just to get the production buildings up now.
Yeah, and you can
Archer
see
range, though.
Q starting to build a little bit. He's about to be at 4 lords here in just a second.
Yeah, double archer range. He wants to get the yeoman in.
Kiljardi at least causing some delay on some of these fishing boats. Oh, actually takes down a fishing boat
ship,
with
yeah.
the archers. A little bit of a late reaction from
value.
DeMu. He pulled the first one in at a perfect timing, but second one he just did not quite respect the archer damage. And the Burgrave is on its way.
Burgrave Palace. Oh, that's some great follow-up timing here for Kiljardi with the burger. And mass men-at-arms is just not something that DeMu in theory can deal with. I mean, the Yeomen have more movement speed. They can kite for quite a while, but it's just when you only do a single point of damage to the men-at-arms, they're not going to be coming in that quickly. Of course, like an HRE Burgrave, but they have a lot more health and are cheaper to make as well.
The demo ship eventually will do its job there and just gets rid of the annoyance.
It
of
was
what two
worth it
spears
too.
are.
Yeah, it was a good trade-out as well. 164, 160 resources.
There we are. The Burgrave finishes immediately getting, I believe that's men-at-arms upgrade in.
Should be, yeah, it is going to be the men-at-arms upgrade. Fishing ships need to hide inside of the dock there, are going to be doing just that. DeMu now wants to do some damage over here, wants to distract Kiljardi. He does not want Kiljardi to come over to his base. Is that another demo ship? Yeah, another demo ship going to be in queue now. DeMu, though, anticipating that, is going to move to the backside of that dock to make sure there's not going to be any direct way for that demo to approach, but demo ship! Oh my god, this is so close!
That was so close. Oh.
That was really close. But Kiljardi, though, he loses all of his spearmen. Gilded archers trying to take down the spearmen from DeMu, but are going to get taken down before that. Men-at-arms working overtime.
He is tanking up the damage from
Yeoman just going to be
all
looking
of
for the
these
fishing
units.
ship. Yeah, fishing ship a little bit late on the reaction. Just a single men-at-arms is not going to be enough here. Another demo ship comes in. Wishes it had stayed inside of the dock, though. Oh, I might get taken down now. 3 men-at-arms. Kiljardi behind this is trying to get the relics in. And looks like he somehow managed to get out to some additional pawns, so is still scaling there. DeMu behind this on 4 pawns now.
Yeah, those men-at-arms, like, while they'd be great if he could split one off and get into the eco. Into the mass that DeMu has right now, Kiljardi just needs a few more numbers to be able to actually take a fight. Another fishing boat taken down.
It's going to jump inside of the dock now. We're up to 5 men-at-arms, and DeMu is about to be actually able to click the age up. Knowing DeMu, this isn't going to be a white tower, but rather a King's Cult. She's a big fan of that landmark. No, is going to be going for the white tower. Okay. Caster Curse coming in.
Caster Curse, indeed, even though I wouldn't say it's that much of a curse. It's just, you know, he's wanting to protect up the front side of his base. White tower in between the gold. Plans on going over to the stone as well right after.
Starting to push outward a little bit. Just 6 of them. First relic is on its way back, and Kiljardi, in theory, has the opportunity to put the relics inside of the docks as well. I don't think there's been a manor... Yeah, there hasn't been a single manor yet for DeMu, so his economy hasn't actually been that great if you compare it to Kiljardi's. He's playing as the Order of the Dragon, so it does have a good amount of bonus income there. Though Kiljardi's food income isn't that hot at the moment. I believe he's solely gathering food at the moment through the shoreline fish, through the fishing operation.
Yeah, White Tower has finished, and that's one where we should see DeMu getting ready to maybe make that transition into some more manners, or I say more, into some manners to be able to have a little bit of a boost into his economy. Yeoman upgrade on its way. Same thing goes for the extra range damage now that Castle Age is finished as well. So Kiljardi's men-at-arms just about to be a little bit less effective.
Yeah, man. In Castle Age against men-at-arms, it's one of the main interactions that I really dislike in Age of Empires 4, or I think at least is a little bit unfair, counterintuitive. The archers against armored units do 50% more damage than they do in Feudal Age with all upgrades researched. So now these men-at-arms are going to be a lot less effective as a meat shield unit. There is an outpost, there is emergency repairs, but this might not be enough in order to hold this line for Kiljardi. Upgrades have come in, so Yemen going to be doing 3 damage with every hit instead of just 2. Yeah, men-at-arms are struggling.
Yeah, and I feel like this is always, whenever I see men-at-arms at higher elos, it's like they either have their timing before your opponent gets castle where they're like almost unstoppable, or all of a sudden they get countered out pretty easily and get kited to death because of their movement speed.
Yeah. Now they're able to start getting some connections in, but just doesn't feel like it's enough. The Lords of Lancaster also upgraded. There's some Earl's Guards in there. And just this mass of archers is going to be enough, together with some crossbows, to completely annihilate the armored units here from Kiljardi. He is starting to remass into some gilded archers, but that we know reproducing units as Order of the Dragon is slow. When you're 35 to 5 military units, 2 of which are religious units, 1 of which is a scout, 1 of which is an archer ship, it just does not look good at the moment for Kiljardi at all.
Oof, additional gold now denied as well. Kiljardi was trying to get an outpost on it, needs to get back onto that gold to get some of these higher value units, but DeMu is not letting him do so, picking up a few more villagers as they're trying to escape on the way out. And with just the small amount of units that Kiljardi actually has, DeMu might just be able to run around this base and idle out a lot of villagers with these yeomen.
So many villagers going down here. Kiljardi losing the majority of his economy now. He's just not able to catch up to the yeomen with their superior movement speed as well. Military reinforcements getting sniped behind as well. We're trying to get 2 of the 5 relics in so far. But yeah, it's just not enough. I still have production uptime on the Burgrave. But he's just stuck inside of his base. Only just now is veterancy on the archers coming in. He just didn't have the gold for it this entire time.
And that yeoman mass made a full circle around the whole base and is just still, you know, maybe not super healthy, but they're still alive. They're still doing damage. And DeMu has a mass on either side, and this is one of those where if you're Kiljardi, you just feel like there's nowhere to go. You can't breathe, and sure enough, he throws in the towel. DeMu takes game number 2 in a little bit quicker, a little bit more of a decisive fashion here.
Ay. And now Kiljardi, he's finding himself up against DeMu on match point 2-0 right now in this best of 5. It didn't look bad at all, I want to say, in the early game here for Kiljardi. It's just that men-at-arms, army composition-wise, just don't feel good up against ranged units at all in this current meta. Once DeMu got that Castle Age up in, meant that his archers would be doing a lot more damage to those men-at-arms, and yeah, in the end, the theoretical counter was not strong enough there for the Order of the Dragon.
Yeah, and DeMu was able to just make that expansion onto a few more pawns, had a few, a few extra fishing ships working for himself. Whereas, Kiljardi did sneak out to a few extra, but it felt like that was like his lifeline. It wasn't like, oh, this is an extra boost in my economy. It was like, I need that or else I'm going to lose.
Next up, gonna be moving over to Hill and Dale, and there's some interesting picks here. We're gonna be seeing the Golden Horde on Hill and Dale for DeMu up against Kiljardi's French. I think Golden Horde on Hill and Dale, it's a little bit contradictory, just from the way it wants to be played, right? Like, because Golden Horde, they want to go out on the map, or rather, they want to have the Uwus out on the map, but at the same time, on Hill and Dale, you kind of want to hold yourself up on top of that hill. And French can also be played fairly interestingly on Hill and Dale with a potential Chamber of Commerce there. There's a lot of options here for these players on how they want to play this one.
Yeah, we've seen Sengoku sniped for, what is this, the 5th, maybe 6th time of the day here. So I think 5th time of the day so far that the Sengoku's been sniped. So these higher level players are definitely not wanting to have to deal with Sengoku.
Yeah, Sengoku can be a little bit of an odd sieve when you play against them. The Mounted Samurai just being incredibly strong and having infinite gold as soon as Castle Age comes in at the safety inside of your own base. I don't know about you, Dapsna, but that feels very good for a civilization with incredibly strong knights.
You can't disagree with that by any means. Looks like game is not too far away from starting, but I think we wanted to get you maybe some bracket updates here soon to see about maybe some of the other series, some of the other updates, and how they've been doing so far.
All right, let's get a quick look onto the brackets then, and we've got Beastie up against Wham. Looks like Wham managed to beat Numedan 3-0 there. Beastie doing the same with Corvinus. Marine Lord also winning up against Galadeca, waiting for this set between DeMu and Kiljardi to finish on up. Yeah, that's going to be some of the sets that we're also going to be looking at today, as Beastie vs. Wham and Vortex versus Anatant are on our timeline for today.
Exciting series to say the least, but we are still in this one. DeMu is up 2-0. Can Kiljardi do something to try to start this reverse sweep? He is playing the French versus DeMu's Golden Horde.
This is now match point for DeMu, so Kiljardi really has to give it his all if he wants to stay in this game now. Golden 10 coming up for DeMu. Necessary age-up building here for the Golden Horde. Similar age-up mechanic to civilizations like the Abbasid or the Ayyubids.
Yep, just gotta wait. You're able to, you're able to click your age up, but not able to speed it up too much there, as you just gotta wait and be patient over there. Kiljardi, though, doing the nice thing as French and just moving out onto the deer right off the bat.
Yeah, good and efficient early economy, especially with the French, since your mill is cheap and you get the upgrades in cheaper as well. Very cheap survival techniques means that you're going to be gathering at very good pace from those deer right off the bat.
Yeah, able to really get that eco going and a stronger eco coming in, and really not delaying your age up like you would on some other maps where you don't have the deer tucked up close right next to your base. I mean, we heard it from Baltoon earlier when he was playing JD. He saw the deer in front of his base that were super close, and he said, "Hey, this might actually be enough to give me a leg up against Lucifron," and sure enough, was able to take that game. But early on,
not a lot going on early on. Age-ups should be coming in soon. And it's going to be School of Cavalry. No Chamber of Commerce play here for Kiljardi. the market's actually not in too great of a spot from the looks of it. They're not all the way in the corner, just next to the woodlines there, right outside of the base.
Yeah, coulda had an effect and change it, as when it's in the corner, it is some juicy income. When it's a little bit of a ways off the corner, it just doesn't ever feel as good, as trading is quite exponential.
Khan and Togut upgrade coming in for DeMu. No surprises there. I haven't seen the other upgrade that basically just gives you 2 production buildings in for free being used in pro play yet.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think I want to say I maybe saw it one single game, but I don't think it played out well, so maybe deterred others from trying it as well.
I tried it a couple of times, just you don't immediately have the resource to double produce batches from 2 buildings at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, that really feels bad when you're wanting to double production is what would be key. But like you said, if you can't use one of those, then it feels like you're kind of just wasting some resources there. School of Cab, though, not too far away from finishing. We will see that first night in queue most likely, and then what will be kiljardi's game plan. And very heavy over to food, very heavy over to gold, so it might just be a few more nights at least to start.
Definitely would make sense. We've kind of seen a similar play recently in this particular matchup. I want to say between Corvinus and BC, or at least that's where I've seen it, where just Khan and the Batu Khan with Mars Togut has been actually looking relatively good against just mass French Knights.
So we will see if that is going to be DeMu's game plan here in a second. His age up about 10 seconds away from finishing on up. Heavier on to the wood line. And moving back onto some deer himself, it looks like, potentially.
Already do have that fortified outpost in on the gold and the deer. Deer are also nicely stacked up next to each other, so DeMu should be relatively safe there.
Yeah, deer have been pushed in very nicely, you know, not all the way into the TC like we used to see on this map, but still tucked up close to each other where there'll be some nice, efficient gathering around that Gur. One knight does spot out a scout, does a little bit of damage the other knight, causing some idle time, but that is why that outpost was built.
Long term also just like provides you with a lot of opportunities there around the outpost, right? Like it's all the way in the back, so if you put stockyards around it with the edict, could get some good and safe food gathering and gold income there.
Meanwhile, kiljardi, pretty typical French eco we see here, has started to send a few more over to the wood line, so we'll see if there's going to be another production building drop soon, or if it's going to be a blacksmith here to follow. Wheelbarrow now finished up for both of these players as DeMu's is about to come to fruition here. So villagers will be a little bit speedier.
Batu Khan should already be up, and gonna also be accompanied by some Togut soon.
Alright, Uvu slowly being burnt down. DeMu doesn't quite have enough spears to take that fight, and still will take some time before he can actually take that fight, as even if it were 1-for-1, doesn't ever feel good.
kiljardi, he's making only knights at the moment. We do get the first double production badge in off the spearman for DeMu, but yeah, this Uvu is going to be going down.
So at least a little bit of some solid initial denial there from kiljardi as far as that first Uvu.
Scout on the other side. Kiljardi knows exactly where the villagers are. DeMu's not looking. That's going to be 3 villagers down immediately. DeMu!
DeMu's
More builds down.
and body blocking happens. Another 2 villagers should fall.
5 builds. Oh my god, this is brutal damage. Blink of an eye, Kiljardi now 8 builds ahead.
That was a
We get a little economy count graph there.
Everything's, you know, rocking and rolling, everything's normal, and all of a sudden you look away at one point in time against the French, and it just could be it right then and there. Kiljardi also spots out some of the spears, spots out some of the military from DeMu, takes the fight, as he can always micro those lower health knights on back, get them healed up later, and that's exactly what he does. Creates a little bit more space for himself, but DeMu's numbers, as far as spears go, are starting to climb to a little bit of a healthier amount, but still by no means is he going to be in an okay position.
And so Kiljardi building up a really solid knight count. Just needs to make sure that they're going to stay alive. Already has chivalry in. So it's going to have that constant healing uptime on the knights outside of combat. DeMu's still massing the spears. The issue is that the knights can always decide when to go for the engagement. And should DeMu overstep here for a little bit, then the knights could clean up this entirely. Weak knights can get pulled back and healed up again. It's dangerous.
Dangerous indeed. We are finally seeing the range drop from Kiljardi, though. Wouldn't even be surprised to see him drop a second one in as well. I'm gonna go ahead and start slowly massing up that archer number. Key point is you want to get enough to be able to start one-shotting those spears, and then the fight becomes so much clearer for yourself. DeMu looks like he's trying to circle, trying to find some sort of information, some sort of place to do some damage, or you know, find some value here with his units. But for now, it is more of just the waiting game. I believe Kiljardi picked up another villager over trying to build that wall in the southwestern side. He did.
That wall looks like it got blocked out. Another villager did get taken down there, and now Kiljardi's just waiting for another villager to potentially try again. This time, though, DeMu is sending the spearmen over there as well. Or at least a couple of the spears.
Yeah, given that
Still
villager.
see those knights. Are they close enough?
I think Kiljardi has his knights close enough to be seen, but we are about to see one of the knights run into the massive spears. That's one knight down real quick. Good escort party there by DeMu.
There's a big mass of knights, though, from Kiljardi. DeMu notices immediately. Kiljardi follows up with the charge. Should not be able to connect, though. Yeah, we'll be aware of that.
18 Royal Knights out on the map, though. This is no joke. This is a army that you have to respect. You have to keep reducing. You know, you can see DeMu's resources. It looks like he's thinking about going up to Castle Age here soon, but that might just give Kiljardi the timing point to pull the trigger. Next bit of drop off of food, and DeMu, he's going up to castle. Oh, yep.
Yes, are gonna be the choice here for DeMu. I'm not sure about that actually making a ton of sense. I mean, it's gonna block a lot of damage from the archers, but with the age advantage, it's gonna block, like, they're not gonna do that much damage anyways. The spearmen aren't affected by it, so they will still take full damage. call to
Demu,
make.
though,
I personally would prefer the relic one.
he needs 70 seconds, though, before anything happens. Age up is on its way.
And kiljardi does spot it. The symbols above the golden tent do give it away.
Archers weren't yet forward with the Knight Mass, was being a little bit more conservative, but now bringing that Mass forward, wants to go ahead and try to do something here.
Little counter charge. Spearman getting in position, but the archers do now arrive, and there's enough archers to one-shot Spearman. Age-up still needs half a minute to finish on up. kiljardi is inside DeMu's base with a very large army. Starting to push in now. First couple stockyards are in there as well.
Villagers
could get sniped by the TC. First village going down.
Not enough room for all of these villagers. 2 villagers already taken down. Archer's starting to snipe down some of these spears, and DeMu still trying to wait to take this fight until Castle Age finishes. Another villager gets taken down, though. Even if he is able to take this fight, even if he is able to win this fight, he is still going to be in an awful eco position here behind this.
Ooh, this is a tough fight. The archer is a little bit out of position. Gonna have to fight off against some of the cavalry units there from DeMu, but the spearmen getting completely routed. Enough knights still remaining. Archer's just gonna be going all the way back around there. DeMu without any army, without any economy. Now an age ahead. But at what cost? Now more villagers going down.
They got nowhere to go. They got nowhere to hide, nowhere to run to, as kiljardi should just be able to close this game out with the amount of knights he has out. Great job here being patient. Great initial find on the wood line that his scout provided the vision to, and this just proved to be too much as he played that slow rolling game, waited for DeMu to go castle, and taking advantage of the timing.
Now after doing all of the damage, kiljardi also finding his own way up to Castle Age behind all of this. Actually, never mind. Is starting to reinvest into military yet again. DeMu, oh, he still needs to build the gate in order to go through.
Oh, the gate when you have knights on your backside as well as archers, it's just one that you know a few more of these vills are going down, if not all. He actually has to turn back around. And kiljardi, he's just taking away as much of this eco as possible. Now turns to some of the army mass. And what's DeMu gonna have left?
He's not quite throwing in the towel yet. There's still that wolf harassing the villagers from kiljardi out there on the deer. Now the guild hall is going to be coming in as a follow-up. DeMu, 24 villagers and a dream.
26 total population and a dream now at this point at the 15-minute mark here. Still not enough room in this outpost. More raids coming in. More villagers falling. And there's the guild hall.
Now, DeMu now half the economy, less than half the economy, same age. I mean, Golden Hall is crazy, but they're not that crazy.
Not quite that crazy at this point. This is one where I think kiljardi can just be nice and patient here. Remass just a little bit and then just pull the trigger for the ending here. Arb number, gotta climb quickly. Knight number already back, looking healthier again. Has been able to reclaim or claim the 8k gold, and I mean there are quite a few of these gold veins there on the mid-map that kiljardi basically has secured for himself now. He should have this full map control, and it is just a ticking time bomb now.
DeMu is on a couple of these stockyards now, so food income isn't looking too bad considering his villager count. It's just as there's still so many units out from kiljardi. DeMu is trying to go for some counter raids, loses all of the military though. And now it is truly nothing left in the tank. GG is gonna come in, and kiljardi able to get his own little counter push now onto the scoreboard. 1-2. DeMu still on match point though.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just see in that economy graph right at that 7-minute mark where DeMu just took a dive. Ooh. The woodline raid hit, 5 vills fell, and it's just one that these players are so good at starting to take advantage of a small eco lead, much less a huge eco lead like kiljardi was able to make with that.
Yeah, it's just how one of these raids immediately like completely snowballs the game. To be fair, it's not just one raid, right? Like, it's not paying attention there for a split second up against knights, losing out on 5 villagers this early on in the game. That is like a good fifth of your economy going down, and those losses are just not something that you can really stomach with most civilizations, unless you're maybe like Malians.
Mali and Biz are the few that would come to mind as the civilizations that could take advantage of this, and this is that raid that we were talking about on that wood line. Just such a good job for kiljardi to find this, for that scout to be circled around that backside and just be able to take advantage of that little bit of oversight there from DeMu.
Yeah, and DeMu also just, I feel like maybe this could have gone differently if this fight was taken between the TC and the fortified outpost. Sad, unfortunately, a couple of the spearmen do move over to the archers there, unable to really get the full surround in around these knights, and the knights just in equal count. Like, knights will easily kill spears.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened. It wasn't even an equal count. There were more knights because, like you said, some of the spears pulled over to the archers, and it just made it to where it was just too hard to deal with the mass that was knocking on the doorstep. And then it was just a little bit of a ring around the rosy. kiljardi just picking off more and more of the eco, picking off more and more of the military units here and there, and then it's just too much for DeMu to deal with.
Next up, though, we're going to be moving over, and speaking of Malians, going to be moving over to Dry Arabia, and we're going to be getting Malians up against Byzantines here. We've seen this today already between Baltun and Lucifron. We're going to get a little return to the Mali versus Byzantine matchup.
We'll see if this one's going to take 55 minutes like the last one did.
Hopefully not. Maybe this time around. I know. I see Cow. He's already like advocating for a 2TC Byzantine play. Probably not happening.
Probably not happening. I mean, it's one that in that first series, first game of the day that we casted between these civs, it was such a back and forth. It was so hard to call. We kept thinking one side was, had enough of a lead to be able to snowball it and win it, and then all of a sudden, it was a little bit of an overstep, and then right back to the other side. So we'll see if this happens again with these two civs, or if one kind of just plays a little bit more conservatively, plays it to where, they get their own game, and they just close it out then and there.
Indeed. Dude, I'm just thinking back about like the Lucifron versus Baltun game. That was so vile. Like, from both sides, both civilizations just showing off their most insane sides in that one with, like 20 villager losses and whatnot on Byzantine side, and they still just keep up military production non-stop. There's like 40 longbows out. They get taken down 2 minutes later, 40 longbows out again. It's crazy.
And then on the other side too, it was every single cow got taken out of the cattle ranches, all got killed. Villagers were circling around. TC was idled basically, or basically no units able to come out and go to a safe spot for what felt like 10 minutes there. But it was one that enough of the base trade, I guess it ended up favoring Mali enough for Baltun to take that one. And so DeMu is the one though that has Mali this time. kiljardi is the one with Byzantines at his fingertips.
Yeah, no cattle alive, still 2,000 food per minute. Still constant sofa production. Yeah. Alright, 10 seconds left before we're gonna be jumping into our game number 4. DeMu on match point. Is this the one where he can reclaim the title of Malian King? Not quite. We kind of need another Malian mirror, another tournament where mirrors can happen in order to fully decide on that one. Nonetheless, we're going to be jumping in now to our game number 4, DeMu vs kiljardi here on the road to Red Bull Wololo. And there it is, DeMu in the color red playing as the Malians here on Dry Arabia. His opponent, none other than kiljardi in the color yellow, playing as the Byzantines.
And here we go. Will this be the final game of their series, or will we have another game 5 today?
That's going to be the question here. kiljardi, early cistern, going to be coming in. Actually starts with the cistern next to the stone. So could be just trying to get as many cisterns in early as possible. Makes no sense since he has more villagers working on stone than on gold, so buffing those villagers up doesn't give him a net profit.
Yeah, so we will see where this villager goes to after building that initial cistern. Sometimes we have seen a little bit greedier builds with another one on the stone, but does not. He is just sticking 2 on the stone for the time being. Doesn't want to delay that age up too far.
Sheep getting caught up behind this. Yeah, I mean, this is just the early part of this matchup, right? There's not a lot going on. Neither of these two civilizations really incentivized when it comes to doing anything for the first 3 minutes, 4 minutes of the game.
I mean, you can even extend that over more towards like 5 or 6 even, I feel like, you know, even when feudal age hits, I feel like a lot of times, you know, it's like, oh, extra pit mine, you know, oh, let me just start dropping cattle ranches and cows. Meanwhile, Byzantines is like, all right, feudal age hits, let me drop another cistern now. It's like, okay now. And then the olive oil starts flowing, and then Byzantines, you blink and they got 40 units out.
Cistern coming in now as well for kiljardi. So we'll be going up to 14% bonus. Gather speed on those villagers. Ansakori coming in for DeMu behind. There's no surprise this landmark is really like the main option that we see all the time. I think there's only really one reason to go for the Saharan Trade Network, and that is in the case that both golds spawn forward and you, like, if you don't control them, you die.
Yeah, I feel like the only time I ever really see Saharan Trade Network is in a scenario like that, or if they're getting, you know, spear rushed and it's too late, they're not going to drop a barracks of their own, but they want to secure that, and then they just drop a nice old conservative Saharan Trade Network to be able to deter those first few spears from doing any damage and annoyance. But Mansa Quarry, not too far away from finishing. Grand Winery, 40 or so seconds behind it as well.
Will be coming in rather soon. The question is, I mean, it's not really a question. DeMu already prepping the wood in order to be going for that next pit mine behind as well. Should be sending a villager out soon to be able to immediately start putting up that pit mine. Could also first be looking for the 3 initial cattle, but I believe that was no, actually going straight for the stable play. So doesn't want to go for the immediate second pit mine. Wants to do some damage up against kiljardi instead.
Yeah, not as much of an eco focus, more of a little bit of some aggression focus here. But second pit mine still won't be too far delayed after that, I'm sure. Scout starting to do its thing. I'm sure we will see that warrior scout upgrade finish here in a second, and then kiljardi actually needs to pull these villagers back because they start taking a little bit more damage there.
Mill coming up behind this as well, so we'll probably be getting a cattle ranch in right about now. Nope, never mind. It's going for the pit mine now instead. Warrior scouts also out and about, just harassing a little bit. DeMu, he really loves playing with these warrior scouts.
Yeah, not quite as crazy as they used to be with their healing and whatnot, but still very, very annoying just with mobility. They still have healing, just not as crazy as what it used to be. So you'll see them tank up a little bit of TC fire, and you know, hey, is Kiljardi going to jump inside the TC, or is he just going to keep taking a little bit of damage here and there?
So for now, also in queue for DeMu. Yeah, Warrior Scouts are just very, very strong at coming in for these minor harassments every now and then. Holding back if they take a little bit of damage, healing back up. Just going for it again. As long as you don't take the unit out, it's just gonna keep coming back time and time again.
Yep, and now we see... Oh! Ho, quick reaction there by DeMu to keep his scout alive after the Akratoid defense was utilized.
Sofa arrives.
Fourth
Mitani out now as
cistern.
well. Kiljardi's eco is looking pretty solid now. Already has enough olive oil for his first batch of mercenaries.
And we don't have any cows starting to be pumped up from DeMu's side yet. He has just been all aggression so far. Getting the eco upgrades with the gold income that he's getting. All right, now we're at the 7-minute mark. This is when the game will start opening up a little bit. You know, we see some of those limited out. We see Sofa starting to be masked on up. We should see DeMu maybe start to invest in a few cows. This might be the first bit of eco damage. Sofa able to circle around, stay out of vision, but good reaction from Kiljardi. Still loses a villager and might need to pull back off of the berries as well.
Yeah, very good kill there. Oh, DeMu already picking off the first villager. Now the villager that's making the wall right now needs to be careful. Kiljardi does have Limitani nearby, ready to defend just in case. And Longbows now also coming in. Sofa tried to go for a charge, but not all the spearmen did get distracted.
Yeah, Sofa and Scouts just circling, proving to be that annoyance. The Limitanae are trying to close the gap. They're trying to do some damage, but instead they just end up watching in the corner.
Sofa rotating around yet again. Looking for some villager kills. The Mitani from Kiljardi is trying to block just in case. DeMu still going for it. Is going to be going for another villager kill here. Is going to find it as well. Lose the Sofa for it, but worth it.
But absolutely.
As well.
Up to 5 cows now behind this as well, so is able to get some damage, and while he's doing this damage, while he's circling the base of Kiljardi, he's slowly starting to invest more and more of this eco. It was a little bit more delayed than what we'd see from Mali typically, but hey, better late than never is what they say.
Spearman is going to get sniped out there. Enough of them around in order to defend there.
Wall getting a little bit closer to finishing. Not sure what those villagers are doing with their shivs out. Ah, they're going back home now. They wanted to be a part of the army, and then they got rejected.
Cattle count behind this rising. Now also seeing the first couple of archers being added in for DeMu. Kiljardi adding in some horsemen behind this. I like this variance. Just gonna be a very solid front line as well as something that can be used in order to block out the longbowmen.
Yeah, I mean, that's one where the Kiljardi, we've seen in the previous games too, he's utilized the horsemen very effectively, even in matchups that you think, oh, maybe you shouldn't go horsemen into Gazi per se, but he's not just using them to take head-on fights. He's using them to pick off reinforcements. He's using them to try to do some harassing on some villagers, things of that sort.
And DeMu is still, like, with the Sofa play, It's just forcing kiljardi to always react to this. He's not really able to leave his base. Sofa getting a little bit too close to the sun. Takes a couple of hits in there from the Limitani.
More longbows circling.
Oh, longbows. Close enough to TC to get support fire.
The initial berries have been finished on up. A few olive groves dropped at least for kiljardi, but he does have 2 different sets of berries behind his wall over here in the corner, as long as he can make sure that DeMu isn't able to circle behind his base. And that's one good way to do it, is the wall outline we see following.
Battle so far, 8 archers now. It's just such an annoying thing about having to play against stronger cavalry, is you really need to overreact to the potential of these raids coming in. Now these walls should finally allow kiljardi to at least have some leisure when it comes to moving out onto the map.
Yeah, it looks like he is starting to push forward a little bit. Few more houses being dropped. Looks like that next set of berries is pretty close to being eaten up as well, but for good reason. He's got another set of longbows in queue and not too far away from being able to queue up another set.
Radi now putting up some aggression against the pit mine out here. Matani also going for a torch throw. Longbows just scouting around. Need to make sure not to go too far away though. Don't want to get caught out of position. Yeah, is he just trying to go for his own age up? No, never mind. He's starting to reinvest again.
Almost seemed like the same thing he was doing in previous games, where he was... I felt like he was going for the age up, and then he sees the army, and he's like, oh, I gotta respect this a little bit. Let me go ahead and start queuing up some more units again.
Yeah, it's like a maybe not quite yet type reaction.
Alright, looks like Sofa are circling back around. They're going to be bringing some of those archers with them. Looks like a few javelin have been made as well. So DeMu thinking he is now going to be the one. It's time to take this fight here.
Oh, kiljardi. Looks like he doesn't want to take this fight. Don't think DeMu's going to give him a choice though. Repositions a little bit. Longbows now trying to snipe out the archers. Matani still in good mass. Need to put them in the shield wall formation. We've seen it earlier as well. It means that they don't have that much DPS up against the Sofa as they attack a lot slower now. The Matani mass is getting cleaned up completely.
Up that front line, and now the longbows have nothing else to defend. The few Limitane that arrived there a little late are just going to arrive into their own death. And DeMu, what a huge timing, what a huge fight that he was able to just take.
Longbows out of position. The next batch could get sniped out there as well. So fast, do spot them out. No reinforcements. Couple of horsemen from kiljardi also looking for raids. And behind this, DeMu going for the age up now. Grand Falani Corral is going to be coming in on top of 12 cattle. Remaining cattle can easily be added in after.
Yeah, and it feels so good when you're able to age up and still have that military lead like he does have. He just won a huge fight, knows that kiljardi now has to respect that, has to double down, can't go castle himself, even though he's got quite a bit of gold sitting there saved up. But DeMu, he will, and then he's going to have these upgrades in Castle Age so quick. Yeah, you can just see those resources accruing. Wouldn't be too surprised to immediately see imported armor, veterancy on the Sofa, veterancy on the archers as well. Actually, it's going to be poison arrows as the choice that DeMu goes for.
Poison arrows immediately. It's a pretty costly upgrade. Costs like 500 gold. No real need for it immediately, but I mean, if you can afford it. He does have quite a good lead at the moment.
Here we are.
Alganda's also trying to go for his own age up.
Yeah, kiljardi going to try to match this timing, but this is one where he's going to be starting the age up. Meanwhile, DeMu, he's going to already have his upgrades through when the age up starts to begin. Golden Horde Tower is on its way. Oh, a little bit of some vision spotted through just because of scouting and
thinning.
Oh, a little bit of a return
raid
attempt. Two
Pretty
villagers
good raid,
picked
actually.
up,
Kills a
maybe
good couple of
3
builds.
villagers picked up.
Another one. 7 villagers total killed so far by kiljardi. It just doesn't really matter against Mali at this point in the game. You could kill 15 vills and it wouldn't really change a lot.
Yeah, the Golden Horn Tower is getting pretty close to finishing. That does provide a ton of value. Houses starting to be burnt. Olive groves starting to be shot at as well. So those villagers that are working those olive groves won't be able to continue working for too long. Another couple villagers picked off as well. And now that the age up happens, DeMu knows he has an advantage. He has a technology advantage, at least for a little bit of time. So is deciding to take this fight under the TC. Arrow fire taking down the archers quite quickly, so will lose this bit of a mass that he had accruing in kiljardi's base.
Yeah, great trade there for kiljardi. Suddenly things looking up again for him. Still has a good amount of food income there as well. First olive groves already in. I mean, it's not great food income, but it's the start of a farm transition.
Meanwhile, DeMu has pumped that cow number up to a full 20. So food income for DeMu is going to be sky high right now. Sofa and archer composition and imported armor getting close to finishing here finally.
I feel like DeMu thought he was a little bit further ahead than he eventually was. So we do see the first couple of cataphracts coming in now as well. More longbows still in queue. Villagers on the woodline do need to evacuate, at least for the time being.
Yeah, so still a good bit of idle time force yet again. It looks like Relic got picked up. Wololo attempt. DeMu just right there, ready and waiting, able to take down and delay that Relic from coming on in. And the Sofa just providing so much annoyance, so much military idle time here for kiljardi as the whole military is having to react to these 5 Sofas circling the base.
Yeah, definitely a lot of worthwhile idle time, but the longbows do trail. Are going to be able to pick off some of the Sofas now. Good positioning from kiljardi. Sofas are going to get taken down now, not hiding much longer, or not distracting much longer. At the same time, though, DeMu attacking from the other side. At least feigning aggression.
Yeah, overall though, game is at a much more even point than what it seemed like a little bit earlier on. It felt like DeMu was going to have the whole entire game in his hands after that feudal fight and then having that quicker castle age up.
Sofa mass not really looking too hot right now. We're already at a mass where there's even cataphracts to Sofa count. Monk with a relic is getting sniped out now. Jadi's army is nearby, so there's still a chance for Kiljardi to bring that relic on back. One has already been captured up by him. If he gets 2 relics in the situation, I think it's not too bad for him. Yeah, realistically, he shouldn't be able to get more than 2. I'm struggling with this at the moment. Charge comes in as well. Imam getting sacrificed to the longbows. Painted shield upgrade is already through as well.
I feel like he needs to try to kite this out, but doesn't feel like he's able to do so. There we go. Finally feels like he has enough to turn. Snipes down a few of the Limitane before the Sofa have to take the head-on fight against those cataphracts. And now the Sofa number here looking a lot healthier than what it was a minute or so ago.
Yeah, a lot more Sofa on the field, but there's still 10 cataphracts, and cataphracts are just so strong up against these Sofa. DeMu kind of needs to bide his time a little bit longer, as a couple of Limitanis still out and about as well. They're getting sniped down now. Archers from DeMu gotta snipe down the Lombos. They can't really do too much up against the Cataphracts. They just have so much armor. Yeah, DeMu's Archers kind of getting stuck on the Cataphracts there. Lose a lot of the count. Sofa Mass falling. Archer Mass not looking that strong as well. 10 more getting queued up. Reinforcements, though, closer from DeMu. kiljardi doesn't look like his entire army's there, but the Cataphracts, they overpowered all of the Sofa at the front line.
They did, but now a few of them are such low health that the poison arrow is actually going to provide enough damage to maybe finish off a few of these. One of those, I think, is on the very last limb of its life. I don't even know if it even has a health.
It's one of those zero health units that we see from time to time in the game. kiljardi needs to fall back further with the Lombos. Cataphracts still looking strong at the front line, but yeah, only a few remaining now.
Yeah, he's taking the fight
Trade-off
without
still
his whole
happening.
mass there, so those few Cataphracts are trickling in, getting taken down as they trickle in, and that's one where the Poison Archers are so much more effective when there's only 1-2 Cataphracts to focus in on. And the Sofa count, just the overall military count now for DeMu is just starting to climb, it seems like, much faster than it is on the other side of kiljardi.
Yeah, more Cataphracts now at the front line, but villagers on the wood line, overchop. They need to get pulled back. kiljardi reacting just a little bit too slow. Loses 1 to 2 villagers there. Cataphracts still not yet in sufficient numbers. One important thing to note, though, is that kiljardi's food income is mirroring DeMu's now. So the food income is not too bad here for him. Lombos sniping down the Archers. Archers also going for a snipe onto Lombos. Only every now and then are there Cataphracts coming in. It's like it's just not enough numbers at the moment.
Really good micro by DeMu here. He split his Poison Archers into a few different smaller groups, so he wasn't really overkilling the longbows. Had some of them that were just moving on the Cataphracts, able to just, you know, do that extra little bit of trickle damage. But the mass he split onto the longbows was just taking out longbow after longbow after longbow. And kiljardi's base has now been fully dove upon. Olive groves have units all inside of them. And so DeMu, he might not have been able to end the game earlier, but he wants to end the game now, wants to end this series now.
Full dive on the farming economy. Entire food income idled out now by DeMu. Easy fire coming in. Is he going to be able to survive for much longer? No. Wave number 2, we can see it on the minmap. It's coming in now.
Was losing a
a
few
little bit
more
on some of the
bills
buildings.
onto the wood line, and just like you said, wave number 2 is ready and waiting outside the base. So while kiljardi's like, yes, I cleared it, he's about to realize that no, he hasn't. But one thing, Cal has gotten his wish. There is a second TC for Byzantines down.
Definitely necessary play now after losing this many villagers and after all the idle time. So if this game goes on for an additional 6 or 8 minutes, they're still way back for kiljardi in this game.
That is a big if, as I do not see it going for that much longer, as DeMu, he wants to close this one out. He's circling around. He's trying to find somewhere to do some damage. It looks like that gold vein. He knows gold's out. He knows kiljardi's got to be getting gold from somewhere, and he is about to find out where.
Villagers getting sniped now on the gold vein. Villagers evacuating, but a lot do go down. Actually, not that many. Only like 2-3 builds did go down. 20 villager lead at the moment for DeMu, and DeMu also went for his own second TC behind this as well.
And the archers are just going to come right back. kiljardi cannot go back to that gold. It's in front of a stealth forest too. So unless he has a scout here, an outpost here, that DeMu can just keep sitting there, popping in and out with his archers.
Wants to get the outpost up there now. Has enough stone for Magnum placement. Not sure if he has enough gold. Should be enough gold. Maybe it's more like 50 gold though. In which case he'll be short just a little bit. And there's Imperial Age now. Fort of the Huntress coming in for DeMu on the Dutch gold vein.
Dropping it. Oh my god.
Right in front of his base. Oh, that's such a bad spot for kiljardi. He's gonna have stealth units right in front of his base.
I mean, DeMu, he is ready to close this one out. He's already got plenty of gold in the bank, too, for some Imperial Age upgrades. Plenty of food in the bank. As I say that, he queues 9 more sofa. So this sofa count is just about to be too much to deal with, especially when upgrades come.
Definitely is going to be having a field day here. Cataphracts do spot out that Imperial Age landmark now. Gonna take a lot of damage. I think one of the Cataphracts might actually be going down just to the poison damage, as the Fall of the Huntress actually does do poison damage. Yeah, indeed, he just got taken down by the poison.
DeMu does look like
chasing after that one Cataphract.
Moving his whole sofa army to catch that Cataphract.
Talk about an overreaction. But that means that Cataphract for sure isn't going to get a villager kill.
Surely it's not going to be able to get a villager kill. Oh, juked.
The ankle breaker. Sofas are still faster, though, than the Cataphract. So eventually they're going to catch up.
Yeah, and I mean, DeMu, he didn't want to... He didn't want to dive the base and take this huge head-on fight until the upgrades came through anyways. So he's just waiting for those last couple upgrades to come through, making sure he doesn't take damage during this potentially vulnerable time right after Imp. And then upgrades come through, he ends the game.
Yeah. Manganum placement's now also on the way for kiljardi. He'll try and keep himself a little bit more reinforced inside of his base. Gate is coming up. Cataphract.
That Cataphract lives. Oh, even with the huge overreaction, that Cataphract lives.
Did not expect him to live, but yeah, the hero Cataphract able to return. At the same time, though, he led the army straight to his friends and allies.
Now, kiljardi's got more than just a bit to worry about. Has some sofa coming in from the bottom side. Has the main army mass on the top side. Getting close to where that second TC is. And DeMu, he is ready to go all in. Upgrades have finished. There's more upgrades in queue, but this is more than enough now. He's on the wood line yet again. More villagers are going to be falling. Manganello placed outposts, getting burnt before fortifications come through as well. Cataphracts trying to get onto the backside of the poison arrow archers, but there are Sofa already on the backside of kiljardi's base.
Yeah, Sofa imported armor, it's just so tanky at this point with the elite upgrade in. Longbows at this point just don't really do any real tangible damage to them. 1 damage in per shot. Villagers jumping inside of the town center here, trying their best, but the archers are also so fast with the aura from the Sofa here, they're just going to be able to run right underneath the economy from kiljardi, idling out the entire farming income. Kiljardi, he was thinking about going up to Imperial Age on his own. Really, the only way for him back into this game would have been that age up to Imperial Age, but now there's not going to be a chance of that happening anytime soon. Farming economy shut down. Actually, not too many Sofa reinforcements behind all of this. Maybe kiljardi can recover here. He's also down over 30 villagers, with more villagers still falling behind this.
Yeah, I mean...
Rough situation for sure.
DeMu still has triple Sacred Site, has 3 relics, has the full map control. kiljardi is on that last gold that is safe for himself too, so that's still a ticking time bomb in and of itself. And so much idle time being caused throughout this, so not only is it the villager loss, it's also how many villagers are actually working during this. Sofa getting tickled by the longbows.
Yeah, it's really nothing other than tickling at this point. The longbows just can't do any damage to them. Limitania being rallied out, but rallying is not really an attack command, so most of the time they're actually just running, and by the time they die, they got like 1 hit in.
Military numbers are getting closer to...
Oh, what is he doing? What is DeMu doing to kiljardi now? He's making houses in front of his base. Oh man, this guy. This guy. He's writing LOL on the minimap. Or is it? No, that's just some muted. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is an LOL. It is an LOL. Oh, poor kiljardi. Oh no, not like this.
Not like this. He goes ahead, he throws in the towel. 3-1 series goes over to DeMu, and what a fun final game to finish it on there. It looked brutal by the end, but it was definitely still a back and forth during it.
Yeah, this looked definitely still open up until like a lot of the villagers from kiljardi did go down. 30,000 income difference there. Byzantines, I mean, the mercenaries are strong, but so far, looks like the Malians have their number, at least so far in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely a few times where it seems like Byzantines has their way back into it. They'll be like up in military or you know, been able to stabilize after a big push, and then it feels like they're about to be able to take the game over, and then you blink and Mali's up another 20 military again. But that is one where, you know, DeMu is definitely known as one of the stronger Mali players in general.
Yeah, that much is certain. I mean, DeMu was hailed the Malian king before Beastie claimed that title. We definitely need like another tournament with mirrors. I mean, mirrors, are they that common now that we have this many civilizations? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to have them potentially back in tournaments. Players are going to hate me for this, but how else are we going to decide who gets the title of Malian king?
I mean, with this many civs, it would be way less likely for some matchups like that, for some mirror matchups, but I still feel like there's so many maps that have like 2 to 3 civs that you want to prioritize on, and if you're prioritizing a few of those, then it might just be some mirrors.
Yeah, that's always the threat, always the threat. There are some players, of course, that kind of want to like play off meta, but yeah, if you play meta, there's big chances for mirrors there. I do believe that we should be having an interview just about ready, so DeMu is going to be waiting for you, the Depson.
Awesome, awesome.
Hello.
DeMu, big congrats on the victory there, especially against the opponent. I know you and kiljardi have some history, so talk a little bit about that.
I mean, like, we're good pals, honestly, which is why we can meme on each other. Like, I think I'm the only player in the world that he never GGs or anything. And he talks so much shit. Like, so much. And he's always like, I'm going to 3-0 you tomorrow. Like, sorry for the birthday present and stuff. Because, yeah, it's my birthday. And
yeah.
I forgot the game I lost. Oh, Golden Horde. Yeah. I was just like, if I can win with this is great. But yeah, I had to do him a bit dirty in that last one. Because the last time that we played, he challenged me to a drunk match at a LAN. And then he dodged, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll get drunk. And then at 7 beers deep, still beat him. So I'm very happy to beat him this time. I'm sad I dropped a map, though.
Oh, there you go. Were you writing some words there with your houses at the end? Was it an LOL that was coming on out there in the last game?
It was an LOL. I'm sick of this guy talking so much shit. I hope this is, you know, the beginning of the end kind of thing of that. So he just kind of bows down to his rightful king of the north.
Oh, there you go. Well, the series started out on an exciting note, to say the least, with that Delhi versus China game. I felt like it was not the only game today that me and Kraken have been crazy back and forth on, you know, who's favored. Oh, it feels like the game's about to end there. Did you feel like there was any point where you weren't in control in that game, or did you feel like you were in control the whole time?
To say I was in control would be fibbing a little bit. Like, he caught me off guard a few times that game. Like, you know, normally China go pro scout, but kiljardi went full brain dead mode, and like I saw him trying to take the deer and going fast horseman. I was like, this guy's bonkers. Like, what's he got planned here? And there was definitely some times where it's like I wanted to age up, and then he's coming, and I'm like, okay. Like, in my head, I'm like, if he attacks now, like, he wouldn't do that. He's not that dumb. And then I see him coming, I'm like, oh my god. And then, like, a similar thing happens moments later, like minutes later as well. I'm like, oh, he wouldn't attack now. He's not that stupid. And then it's like, of course he is. So, yeah, my boy kiljardi. Dumb as a brick.
Yeah, there were definitely a few times in the series where we're like, oh, DeMu's about to go up to Imp, and nope, he has to reinvest all of his resources to deal with the push that's about to come. But great way to react to a lot that was, as you say, maybe some dumb decisions there on the other side, not necessarily the expected decisions there. But big congrats, especially on your birthday, to be able to move along to the next round there and be able to watch some of these games ahead. Any final parting words here after the series?
Yeah, this was a battle of the oldies, and the true oldie won, and yet again. So, fuck you, kiljardi. Fuck you. And thank you to the fans, and thank you to you guys at EGC.
Appreciate you. Well, thank you. Big exciting series, big exciting games, and now we will be headed to the break before we are getting back into some more action here now.